For the first time since Donald Trump's hot mic scandal, Donald Trump's wife, Melania, is speaking out defending her husband and attacking the media.
Now, there are several developments in campaign 2016. More FBI notes are being made public about Hillary Clinton's emails, and Donald Trump is making claims about rigged elections, claims that have some supporters very concerned tonight. KCAL9 political reporter Dave Bryan joins us with more on the campaign trail just 2 days ahead of this final debate.
We've got political action in every direction tonight. Melania Trump has been almost invisible since her GOP convention speech and the plagiarism controversy, but this time her husband Donald Trump needed her to stand up for him as the controversy over his sexual video comments just wasn't going away. So she did interviews this afternoon with 2 cable news networks.
I believe my husband. I believe my husband. This was all organized from the opposition.
For the first time since the video was released a week and a half ago, in which her husband, Donald Trump, used lewd language to describe aggressive sexual assaults, which he later said never happened, Melania Trump is speaking out, describing her reaction when she first saw and heard the tape.
I said to my husband that, the language is inappropriate. It's not acceptable. And I was surprised because that is not the man that I know. And as you can see from the tape, the cameras were not on. It was only a mic. And I wonder if they even knew that the mic was on, because they were kind of a boy talk, and he was lead on, like egg on, from the host to say dirty and bad stuff. It's kind of 2 teenage boys. Actually, they should behave better, right?
He was 59.
Correct. And sometimes I said, I have 2 boys at home. I have my young son and I have my husband.
In an interview with CNN's Anderson Cooper and with Fox News, Melania Trump says she and her husband have, in a personal way, now moved on.
He apologized. I accept his apology. I hope the American people will accept it well. And it was many, many years ago. He's not the man that I know.
And Melania Trump said the behavior on that video was coming from an entertainer at the time, not from a politician.
It's very hard, especially for him, when he decided to run for presidency, because he did so many stuff in his life. He was on so many tapes, so many shows, and we knew that tapes will come out. People won't want to go against him. But my husband is real. He's raw. He tells it as it is.
The interviews come as Melania's husband continues his take-no-prisoners accusations that the election is rigged by media reporting on the sexual misconduct allegations against Donald Trump.
The election is being rigged by corrupt media pushing completely false allegations and outright lies.
Last week, Trump accused the Clintons of directing an international conspiracy, including corrupt banks and corporations, to defeat him.
The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors.
And at his rallies on Monday, Trump doubled down on the notion that there's a massive conspiracy, even including voter fraud, to rig the election against him, tweeting out, "Of course there is large-scale voter fraud happening on and before Election Day. Why do Republican leaders deny what's going on? So naive." But Trump has not produced any evidence to back up his volatile charges. In fact, a study by the Brennan Center for Justice found the average American is more likely to be struck by lightning than cast a fraudulent ballot. Another study found 31 instances of voter fraud out of 1 billion ballots cast from 2000 to 2014. And the Republican Secretary of State in Ohio, who says he's going to vote for Trump, refuted Trump's charges.
There's a difference between an individual random act and a systemic problem. And we do not have any systemic problems, and I'm not aware of any systemic problem in any state in the country. The idea of building a national campaign where you're suggesting that the elections process itself is rigged is an irresponsible comment.
Nonetheless, Trump's scorched earth approach has apparently incited some of his supporters to make serious and perhaps violent threats.
Hillary needs to be taken out. If she gets into government, I'll do everything in my power to take her out of power.
Is that a physical threat?
I don't know, is it?
And there'll be a civil war. And I don't know.
You think it will come to that?
Absolutely. You don't understand the passion in this country. I'm just one voice. There's a lot of people like me.
And then there's the Hillary Clinton email controversy, which just won't go away. At the center of the latest chapter is a Clinton email on the Benghazi attacks, the first of her emails to be retroactively classified as secret last year, contradicting her claims at the time.
There is no classified materials.
According to FBI interviews, Clinton's undersecretary, Patrick Kennedy, was pushing FBI officials to see their way clear to marking the email unclassified. An FBI contact replied he would look into the email matter if Kennedy would provide authority concerning the FBI's request to increase its personnel in Iraq. Then the FBI official, who seemed to be suggesting he wanted to strike a deal with the State Department, called a colleague who told agents he felt pressured to change the classified email to unclassified as part of a quid pro quo.
It just stinks to no end. When you have an FBI agent themselves say that he was in a quid pro quo discussion with the Undersecretary of Management at the State Department, that should scare everybody.
But there's more. The FBI says in the end there was no deal made, no favors changed hands, and the classified document stayed classified and was not changed. The Clinton campaign says it was no secret that the State Department felt some of her emails were being over-classified when it wasn't necessary, and they fought the practice. But in this case, they lost the fight. Lena?